how to be an effective and versatile angler with just one rod and a little bag. I feel like in this day and age, every single bass fishing channel that I watch is leaning and pushing you towards getting 4, 5, 6, 7 rods, and a lot of times a lot even more than that, trying to get one for each individual technique, each individual time of year, different types of lines on each rod. But if you're like me, and I bet you are, because most people cannot afford to have 10 different rods, and really you can get a lot done with just one rod and a couple of key chosen baits. If I want to pick one rod to do as many things as possible, especially as a bank angler, that's going to be a medium heavy rod. So this is a Dobyns 744 Kaden. That 4 means that it's a 4 power. The 7.4 means that it's 7 foot 4 inches. What I would recommend is something in the 6'10" to 7'6" range. It really doesn't matter. You'll see a lot of opinions on very specific measurements. I don't think it matters that much. And then the reel, this is a Tatula 100, nothing special, but it's just a good workhorse of a reel. And you want a reel with a gear ratio of 7 to 1 or somewhere in the 7s. 7 seems to be a good happy medium between not burning too much line in, but also having enough power for if you're throwing a chatterbait or stuff like that. So that's going to be the gear you want to focus on. As far as line, this is a very split decision. If you look across the board, a lot of people will say that you want to throw fluorocarbon on this. I'm not a fluorocarbon fan. This is Sufix 131 braid. Any braid would work. If I recommended a cheap braid, it'd be Power Pro. So just the Power Pro, the normal Power Pro you can get at Walmart. This is 40 pound. I would do anything from 30 to 40 pound. I wouldn't go 50 pound for your all-around rod, just because 50 pound starts to get pretty thick in diameter, and it's just a little bit less stealthy than you would like. Okay, so that's what the rod's looking like here. As far as the gear, this little bag is awesome, and I just found it not too long ago. So I have a pretty large tackle bag that I bring a lot of the times if I'm bringing several rods, normally like 2 rods, because I need to carry some camera gear, some extra baits, maybe some water if I'm out for a long time. But it was too big for just like my little short trips after work. So what I got was this little guy. This is the Beyond Braid. I don't even know the name of the bag, but I'll link it in the description here. It's just a really compact little bag, and it fits just enough what you need for one rod. So on this outside pocket here, I'll keep my leader line. So in this case, with the rod that we're bringing, I have a 15 pound Maxima Ultra Green. This is a super versatile, tough line that will give you some shock absorbent to counteract the braid, but also give you some clarity if you're in clearer water. Now in the next larger pocket here, I've got a scale. You always want to have a scale just in case you catch your next personal best. And then right here, you've got a little plier pocket. This is where I keep mine for easy access. And then inside that little pocket on top, I've got some other miscellaneous things, some sunglasses, some scissors, split ring pliers, any little bits and bobs you like in there. And then your main pocket is the size of a 3600 tackle box. So I personally prefer that. I use 3600 sizes for all of my boxes just because I like that more compact size, and it fits in more bags. So right here, I've got a little extra Megabass pouch. This is where I throw just some extra plastics, maybe some things that I want to try out, maybe some clamshell packages that don't fit in the box. And then here is the main, this is the heart of the whole setup right here. So this is my Buzzbee 15T box. It is a beast of a box. This is my favorite box I've ever owned. So this is a waterproof, rust-resistant, modular type of box that is just so much fun to mess around with. You can take out these little pockets here, trade out different sizes, move them around. All right, guys, let's dive into the contents of this box. All right, so I'm going to start right here on the left side. So on the left side, I have just a whole pocket full of chatterbaits. I've got all different styles, colors. We have like an Evo right there. We've got a Mini Max here in like a bluegill pattern. We've got a black and blue jackhammer. You guys get the point, right? So just different sizes, different styles, different colors for all different situations. Now up here we have a Doe Live stick, but really this section here, this is my weightless, heavily salted section. So another thing you could trade this out for would be Gary Yamamoto 5-inch Senkos. If you're really into flukes and you love fishing a fluke, you put flukes right there. Anything that you're going to fish slow and weightless, letting it sink to the bottom or mid-column, twitching it, or just letting it sink, that you definitely need a spot for that. Down here at the bottom, I've got Zoom Mag U-tail worms, okay? And this is in a June bug color. Now there's a very specific reason why this is June bug and these are not June bug, okay? When you have limited amounts of tackle, you have to take advantage of color changes as you change your bait style as well. I don't have enough space to sit there and have 4 different colors of a doe life stick or of a Senko and then have the same 4 colors of a worm. So in my head, the way I think about it is, all right, well, this is imitating more of a shad, a minnow, a bluegill, so I'm going to focus on colors that are a little bit more flashy, have a little bit more whites in them, and something that's going to imitate more of a bait fish. And down here, this bait is going to be primarily fished on the bottom. So on the bottom, I want high visibility, high contrast, and a June bug is just a phenomenal tried and true color for a worm like that. So I'm going to make that trade-off as opposed to having the same colors for both baits. And then over here on the left side, I would kind of call this my miscellaneous or like wild card section. So right here I have a doe live beaver, a bait that I'm just trying out. I wouldn't always have this in here. You could also throw something like a buzz frog if you're really into buzz frogs. You could throw like a lizard, a creature bait, something of that kind. Something I would say more in the creature bait realm to kind of give yourself a different look. And then here in the middle, these are Gamakatsu Superline 3/0 EWG hooks. In my opinion, the best extra wide gap hook, extremely versatile, extremely sharp, and especially when they came out with those new ones that have the nano coating on it, they're just a no-brainer for me. In the middle, I've got really small little bullet weights. That's just for if I want to throw a little Texas rig, especially for this guy. And then on this side, I have, these are like free rig weights, okay? And I use these for 2 things. I use them for an actual free rig, or you can turn around and tie them up and use them for a power shot. And then on that power shot, you could use baits like this. You could use all these baits on a power shot, actually, okay? So let's talk about when to use each one of these baits, okay? Because it's one thing to have the baits in the box, but then you go to the pond and you have no idea what's going on. You don't know how to approach it, okay? So here is my approach, all right? And this is a basic approach that you need to make adjustments to, but this is somewhere to start so you can actually choose a bait and start making some casts, which is the most important thing. When you go to the pond, if it is bright and clear and the water is slick calm, you're going to want to go to your Senko, fluke, doe life stick, whatever. You're going to want to go to your weightless plastic of choice, because those fish, when the sun is out and it is slick calm, those fish are looking up to hunt. They are silhouetting the baits and they are firing up to catch those baits, okay? Again, this is a general rule of thumb. It doesn't always apply. And if you've been fishing for a while, you know that these rules that we often have the fish don't always listen to these rules, okay? So take it with a grain of salt. This is somewhere to start. Now, if you go out to the pond and it is super choppy, the water is choppy, for me, even if it's dark or if it's light out, if the water's choppy, I'm going right to a chatterbait. And then you're just kind of messing around with different styles of chatterbaits. I generally start with a jackhammer, the boldest and the loudest bait, to see if I can get large bites. If that's not working and there's still chop on the water, then I'll downgrade to like a mini max or something a little bit smaller to see if the bite is there, okay? And then if you go out to the pond and it is pretty calm, but maybe it's stormy out or it's just dark and dreary, that's where I'm going to lean towards starting with this little worm right here. I'll go with some sort of dark colored curltail worm, speed worm, creature bait, something that I can fish on the bottom. And I'm going to be rigging that either Texas rigged or on a power shot, something on the bottom, because in contrast to when it's sunny out, when it is dark out, they are not looking up to silhouette the bait because there's no sun to silhouette the bait from. What they are doing is they are looking down, and those darker colors stand out better along the bottom, okay? At least that's the idea. And then now that you have a starting point, from there, you just have to listen to what the fish are saying, right? If they are blowing up on the top of the water, you're going to want to throw on your fluke and twitch it on the top of the water. If you see no surface disturbance at all, nothing at all, you don't see any bait getting chased, nothing, that means they're probably hugging bottom a little bit deeper. So maybe throw on your worm or creature bait on a power shot, fire it out there, and be really patient and slow with it. Okay, so it's all about reading your situation. But that is why I love this box, because this box has something to react to every situation that you get. All right, guys, one last thing. Everyone who's gone fishing knows that you need a stellar hat to keep the sun out of your eyes, to keep your hair in place, etc. And this hat right here, this is the best hat that I've ever had for fishing in all of my years, trying all sorts of different hats. This is called the Patch Hat, okay? And it is made by Film Clothing. It's actually a film company. They're setting out to create some clothing to help life on set be a little bit better, but just so happens that it also makes life on the water much better as well. Now, the best part about this is maybe you don't want the patch it comes with, and maybe you're a trout fisherman who wants to be out for trout. Or maybe you're an Old School Daiwa fan and you want to rep some Old School Daiwa. Or maybe you're just a simple man who loves to fish and you want a little bass patch. The point is, it's super customizable. They have patches on their website. You can also purchase any patches anywhere, like off Etsy, throw some Velcro on the back, chuck it on there. It's super fun to just kind of mess around with different styles. And then to add to the performance of it, this is a awesome hat for big old heads just like me, right? So this hat fits all over my head, cups all the way down. I can really get the bill around to shade my eyes. A lot of ball caps don't really do that for me because I have such a big head. I really need something that can go down. This thing is perfect. It's super adjustable with that snapback there. And then the part that makes it great for fishing is you got a bunch of holes out here. So breathing holes. So you're out in the water for hours, you're getting sweaty. This helps keep your head a little bit cooler, as well as the material it is. This is a super water resistant, water wicking material. So whether you're getting rained on or whether it's just sweat throughout the day, it's going to dry really quickly and just wick off the hat. It is so awesome. It's been a game changer for me. I won't go fishing without it. All my other hats are just subpar now. This one's perfect, especially because I can just switch out whatever patch I feel like to match the outfit, match the vibe. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it really helped you kind of understand where to start. Maybe you're a pro that is just getting overwhelmed by all the tackle that they have, or maybe you're a beginner who just doesn't know where to start. I hope this video helps you kind of clarify your thoughts, really give you a solid starting point. And I know that if you follow even just like a loose resemblance of what I have laid out for you with these baits, that you will be successful if you go out to your local pond anywhere in the country. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment of something that maybe you think that I forget, maybe something that I should put in that box, and please subscribe to the channel. Have a great one.